the Northern Cape at large. I'm back. I was here this morning doing a live youth show. An amazing time I spent with young and fresh upcoming leaders in our province. Special edition, you are tuned into the ANC Northern Cape TV with your host, Mark Kotz, standing in for Malik. And this afternoon, we will be having, like I said, a special edition, speaking to one of the Provincial Executive Committee members. And I'm excited to hear what the prospects is and what he has to say. So do stay tuned. We will be back shortly after this. And welcome back to you, Northern Cape, and wherever you are watching this program. This is a special edition this afternoon of the ANC Northern Cape TV. We are having a special guest in studio, and I'm Mark Kotz, standing in, like I said, at the top of the hour or the top of the show for Malik. And this afternoon, we will be speaking to Provincial Executive Committee member Cde Vosloo. Is in studio, and I'd like for him to introduce himself and give a little bit more of background of who he is, where he is based, and what his prospects for the elections are. Cde Vosloo, baie welkom en hoe gaan het vanmiddag?
Mark, dat gaan baie goed. It's excellent to be here.
Yeah.
It's good to talk to the people of the Northern Cape about the ANC and the campaign that we are currently in. My name is Abraham Vosloo, and I'm coming from Uppington in ZFM district, and I'm currently serving as the MEC responsible for finance, economic development, and tourism in a provincial executive of the government.
Okay.
And the prospects for us in the ZFM region looks very good in terms of all the 5 municipalities, including the district. We are currently in charge of all the municipalities, and we are confident that after Monday, we will still be in a position, an even stronger position, to lead local government at that level.
Okay, stronger position. And when you say that, obviously we need to unpack a little bit more. Yes. What makes you feel so strong in this position?
Yes. We are confident in what the provincial government has been able to do. You will recall that before 2019 elections, in the run-up to the elections, part of our manifesto was that we focused on job creation as one of the issues that we will be focusing on in the sixth administration.
Okay.
And indeed, we have put some plans into place, plans that are already starting to yield some positive results, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And that's why I'm actually glad that you have actually opted to give me an opportunity to engage and to tell the public in the Northern Cape and at large what we are offering and what we are currently doing in ensuring that the manifesto in the run-up to the 2019 national and provincial elections, we are still very keen in terms of implementing that. Over and above that, coupled with the local government elections that is at hand come this weekend.
Yeah.
It can be linked with it because we are not working in silos anymore as a government. From national, provincial, and local government, we have introduced what we call the district development model at the national level. And the district development model actually says that the ANC government, doesn't matter from which sphere we are operating, we are working very closely with our local partners and local leaders to ensure that the services for our people actually reach them where they are actually located. It doesn't matter where you are in the province and where you are, where it is in the rural or urban areas. We are still very keen to ensure that you are accessing the services that the provincial government actually renders and the local government.
Okay. Cde Vosloo, obviously, I mean, this is a question when somebody hears that you're the member of executive committee responsible for finance in the province. I'm sure this question must be popping up as they are watching. The financial status of our province, and how outside of the box, if you are able to think outside of the box, how can you affect the decrease of the levels of unemployment?
Look, in the province, you will recall when the premier outlined the vision of the sixth administration, he was very clear that as a province in this administration, in this term, we are going to focus on the vision of a modern, growing, and a successful province. And by doing that, as a provincial government, we have decided on establishing a Northern Cape industrial corridor, which actually we have actually adopted it as a strategy, and we are currently implementing it as the provincial government within the department that I'm currently heading. And the aim in the main of that particular approach is to ensure that we actually do not serve as a province as a point of extraction, but we serve as a point also of beneficiation in terms of minerals, but also in terms of other issues that actually will create some job opportunities in the province. And that's actually what we are actually currently doing. We are talking here of major infrastructure and also transport logistics that should actually be able to create nodes for us where we will be able then to also feed from your Francis Barrett district, from your JTG district, from your even your ZFM district to your to the port in Namakwa. That's actually part of our broader plan in terms of ensuring that corridor must ultimately be able to export products, not only to all the districts in the province, but to the SADC countries, which is your your Southern African Development Community, and even beyond the borders of SADC.
That's good scope, and I'm glad you're speaking about that. And in your response now, you did mention the adoption of this plan for interest's sake. And I know a lot of people might not be aware of this, or not think or take it into consideration that with this current pandemic, how has that influenced the implementation of this adoption of this plan?
Mark, like with all sectors of society, government included, we have been hampered in terms of delivering services to our people. And at the local government level in particular, remember, all sectors have actually been brought to a halt in terms of operations. And that in itself actually meant, in the main, that given the lockdown levels that has been declared, at certain levels, at most levels, certain sectors of the economy could not function.
Yes.
And for government as well. For instance, the tourism industry is only operational for a very short space of time. For the better part of the lockdown, they have not been operational. Now, government has been no exception. And to that extent, we see surely we could not deliver services at the speed that we wanted to. We could not actually deal with projects and programs, including the job creation projects that we wanted to actually roll out to our communities, obviously in partnership with the affected local municipalities. But we are confident, given what government has actually put in place in terms of curbing the pandemic, in terms of the rolling out of the vaccination program, we are confident that very soon we'll be out of the pandemic and will then be able to make headway in terms of engaging with communities, in terms of rolling out some of the infrastructure projects. That actually, as I'm saying, is now across all government sectors.
As you are speaking, I'm sitting and I'm thinking here, you are saying when, for instance, when once we have as a country reached herd immunity, does that mean that when we're out, would you double your efforts in service delivery? Would you try and make up for what we've lost?
Indeed, we'll have to do the things differently. You see, the good thing about this pandemic, it has taught us to do things differently. And we can now even be more cost effective in terms of delivering services. We'll have to revisit our business model as government. And because if we don't do that, we will not be able to catch up with the backlog that we've been able to actually build up
Definitely.
as a result of the pandemic. But we'll have to double our efforts, not even double, we have to triple our efforts because the backlog is huge. The demand of services from our people is legitimate. And that is why we need, as part of that renewal and overhauling of our business model, we need to also up our levels of commitment at the different levels where we work in municipalities, in government departments, wherever we find ourselves in. We need to recommit to servicing our people with more speed, with more commitment on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Now, I know that that is in the future, and those are the plans that you are looking ahead to. There are current things happening that are in operation, plans that are in operation. Can you give us a little bit of background of a few of these things that are happening in the province? 3 or 4 major things in
Yes,
operation.
I can just mention in terms of the portfolio that I'm currently holding. I'm sure other colleagues of mine would be able to actually expand in terms of the portfolios that they're holding.
Yeah,
In terms of economic development in the
yeah, that's what
province,
I'm looking for. Yeah.
economic development opportunities, as I've already earlier mentioned, that we are talking here of a corridor that we actually implement, and that actually in the main meant we are going to focus on the Uppington Industrial Park, even the Katui Industrial Park. We're talking of the Namakwa Special Economic Zone. We're talking here of the Buchu Bay development, which is between Port Nolof and Alexander Bay, and green energy efficiency program that will actually be unfolding around your hydrogen and green ammonia development that will be taking place there in your Buchu Bay as part of the Buchu Bay development. Those are one of 3 of the catalytic projects that I've been able just to highlight to you.
And we're
Just in the
speaking
main.
big numbers here.
Yes.
We're speaking big numbers.
In fact, the one in Buchu Bay is a serious game changer because we are talking here of big numbers in terms of job creation. I'm talking here of 13,000 job opportunities that will be
13,000.
13,000 job opportunities. That's just for building of the port and the back of port, building of the harbor and the back of port. 13,000 job opportunities. And now, in addition to that, as part of the green hydrogen and green ammonia development, we're talking of 30,000 part of the construction when it's going to be constructed. 30,000 job opportunities just in that area that we are talking of. We are talking here of the creation of a small town with its future, one of the future cities that will actually be erected there. One of the coast cities that's going to be developing there as a result of the development that will be taking place in that area. That is but one area. In your SEZ, you're talking of more than 2,100 job opportunities on a permanent basis that will be created there in your SEZ, which will be in Aghanes. So
just for the sake of the Comrade Vosloo, for the sake of the viewers, I want you to also quickly explain what SEZ stands for.
It's a special economic zone. Government at the national level has actually adopted a policy to, as part of our manifesto that we've actually a commitment that we have made to establish special economic zones in different provinces. And the reason for special economic zones is to designate a specific area to develop and to bring businesses into that area, and with the express purpose to beneficiate and also to grow our economy. That has been the commitment made in the ANC manifesto in prior elections. So this special economic zone uh, um, was supposed to be erected in Uppington.
Okay.
We could not, as a result, because we could not get an anchor investor. And that is why we had to turn that into an industrial park in Uppington.
Okay.
So we have now then shifted to Aggeneys,
Aggeneys,
where we have that a zinc mine there. And the company there, Vedanta International, is actually committed to build a smelter there to the tune of 26 billion rand.
Okay.
And that's why I was actually referring to the SEZ. Now, we've actually seen as a provincial government that we must then now work very closely there with all the strategic partners, ensuring that we actually capitalize on that and build on, and leverage on that, and make sure that we establish an SEZ there. We are in the final stages of approval, and the approval needs to be done by the department at the national level, the Department of Investment, of Trade and Investment and Competition, the DTIC, at the national level. And the application is in the final stages. All the other studies, all the other requirements that we had to actually adhere to, we were able to actually do that. We are now in the final stages in terms of approving the SEZ.
Okay.
And as soon as that is done, the rest of the work will then unfold.
So what does this hold for the community, the people of Aggeneys, the people of Pella, Pofadder? What is this going to mean for them?
As I indicated to you, that just the building of the SEZ, we're talking of 2.7 billion rand. Earlier on, I mentioned a figure of 26 billion rand for the building of the smelter, but the 2.7 billion rand would then be focusing on the building of the SEZ, putting in place the bulk infrastructure, making sure that we do that's for now for the bulk infrastructure, making sure we are able to actually deliver a world-class infrastructure that businesses can come there and do their businesses. For the community, it is of huge advantage, not only just in terms of job creation, but also, and I've also already mentioned the figures, but also in terms of SMME development and opportunities for companies in that area, your small and medium enterprises in that community, but not only in that community, but also in the broader district, and also obviously beyond the borders of the district into the province and into the country. Because we must understand as well that where we do not have the skills at the local level, surely we'll bring the skills in from outside, but we must couple that with the necessary skills development and training that must be done for people at the local level. So there's so much opportunities, an array of opportunities actually that stems from opportunity, from a development of this nature. That is why we encourage the community to work very closely with the local municipality, work very closely with the provincial government to make sure that you access information around what this project actually entails, so that you are brought on board. I'm sure the local council is aware of actually what is taking place. They have been part and parcel of the entire process. The district has been involved in the process. But the invite always stands that a community and business people, your SMMEs, they are at liberty to engage with the municipality, interact with the municipality, make sure they get the necessary information around the SEZ development, and then take it from there.
I want to reassure you that they're actually very informed, because last week when I was interviewing the mayors in Uppington, all they could mention was these things, these numbers, these things that you are speaking about.
Yes.
But for now, we need to go to an ad break. And as you can hear, most probably a lot of numbers, a lot of opportunities, and a lot of development happening. We would be delving right back into that as soon as we return from this short ad break. Welcome back. If you are tuned in, you are watching a special edition in conversation with Mark and one of the Provincial Executive Committee members, Comrade Vosloo, who is also representative of the Department of Finance, responsible for the Department of Finance in the province. Just a shout out to one of our sponsors responsible for this show is Home Furniture. And they have sponsored what you can see we are sitting on. Home Furniture is locally in Kimberley. Comrade Vosloo, ons gaan 'n bietjie gesels oor die verkiesing. Ek weet daar's nog, ek wil nog die laaste gedeelte gebeur het van Appington. Hulle sê mos altyd ons bere die beste vir die laaste. En omdat ons weet Appington is mos nou ons plek,
Dis reg, ja.
wil ek net graag gou vinnig vra wat is daar uit vir Appington voor ons praat van die verkiesing.
Ja, vir Appington obviously, vir Appington natuurlik is daar wat ons noem die Appington Industrial Park. En vir die Appington Industrial Park praat ons van vir die konstruksie van ten minste 1000 werksgeleenthede. En nadat die konstruksie plaasgevind het, ten minste werksgeleenthede vir 500 mense van Appington. 500 nadat die konstruksie plaasgevind het, 1000 gedurende konstruksie. Dat is wat daar vir Appington is. En dat die bedoeling is om het verder uit te kan brei. En dat is wat vir Appington is. Ons kon nie 'n anker investeerder kry, soos wat die aanvanklike planne was nie en wat die raad in gedagte gehad het nie. Maar wanneer dit uitbrei, dan open dit ander legio geleenthede waar ons nou weer na kan kyk by later geleenthede.
Fantasties. As jy in Appington is, moet jy baie beslis luister, want as ek nou byvoorbeeld inskakel en ek raak nou wil graag betrokke raak, waar gaan ek al hierdie inligting bekom?
Natuurlik in die aard van die saak by die departement is dit beskikbaar, maar
Die webwerf.
by die webwerf van die departement, maar ook by die plaaslike munisipaliteite waar die spesifieke projekte waarvan ons nou praat. As ons praat van die SEZ, praat ons nou hierso van Kaima munisipaliteit. As ons praat nou van die Appington Industrial, praat jy van die David Creeper local municipality of by die distrik. En ook by die distrik en Namako in terme van die SEZ en ook rondom die Boeghoepie. So die local munisipaliteite speel 'n baie belangrike rol in terme van die uitdeel van inligting of die verkryging van inligting, maar ook natuurlik die departement. Maar nie net dit nie, gemeenskappe, munisipaliteite is vry om enige tyd met ons te kan skakel en te kan vra. Ons moet 'n inligtingsessie rondom dit te kom deurgee, geleenthede te kan deurgee. Ons kan met verskillende formasies. Die ANC regering sê, wat ons ook al wil bereik, doen ons saam met gemeenskappe. So die beter gemeenskappe wil ons bou met die verstand dat ons wil deurlopend insette van ander sektore en van ander mense ook ontvang. So van wat ons bedoel met dit is dat wanneer ons met gemeenskappe, maak nie saak watter sektor jy verteenwoordig, dit kan sportstrukture wees, dit kan besigheidsstrukture wees, dit kan enige gemeenskapsgebaseerde organisasies is staan dit vry om met ons in verbinding te kan tree by die departement, sodat ons die relevante inligting aan u kan oordra.
Fantasties, ek hou van die feit dat julle al die inligting beskikbaar maak op plaaslike vlak. Sê gou vir my, as ons op praat van Appington, ek weet my pa is van Appington, Comrade Vosloo weet ook, my pa is van Appington, en ek vra hom altyd, en hy sê dit met trots, hoe bly Appington so skoon?
Eintlik is dit nie, ek sê al vir die mense,
Is daar geheim? Is daar iets spesiaal?
Ek wil reeds sê, dit is nie baie groot geheim. Is net dat die munisipaliteit het 'n bepaalde plan in werking. Ek was nou bevoorreg om by geleentheid by die munisipaliteit te kon gewerk het vir 7 jaar. So ek weet die administrasie is daarop gemik om seker te kan maak dat die dienste van die munisipaliteit op 'n hoë gehalte is. Daarom sal jy sien die betaalsyfer van David Creeper munisipaliteit is amper nooit laer as 95%.
Ek het gehoor daarvan, ja.
Is gewoonlik tussen 95 en 99% die betaalsyfer van diegene wat kan betaal. Nou derhalwe die ingesteldheid van die administrasie gelei deur die ANC raad natuurlik is om seker te kan maak dat ons mense dien. So daar's 'n program in werking wat na ure uitgerol word, selfs in die aand uitgerol word, in die oggende uitgerol word, om te verseker dat dit skoon, dat ons dorp skoon is. En baie mense en baie toeriste gee die raad en gee die dorp 'n goeie klopjie op die skouer, omdat die dorp so skoon is. Maar ek moet vir u sê, dat is ook te danke aan die hardwerkendheid van ons amptenare wat vir die munisipaliteit werk. Almal kan dit daar sien, diegene wat na Namibië toe gaan, die wat na Makwa toe gaan, almal kan sien, die wat na die Transporteerpark toe gaan, almal kan sien, die toeriste is beïndruk met wat hulle sien van die dorp. Maar dit is eintlik 'n aanmoediging vir almal van ons, en dis ek om die president sê, ons wil skoon dorpe sien. Om ander dorpe nie ook so clean, so skoon kan wees. Dis net ordentlike bestuur en 'n plan op die tafel.
Ek wil nou net gevra het oor hierdie plan op die tafel. Kan ons nie maar hierdie plan kop vir die ander dorp? Hierdie plan beskikbaar maak met trots.
Verlede week Dinsdag het die president met ons gepraat en die president met al die kandidate van die ANC gepraat.
Was daar, ja.
En die boodskap wat die president vir al die kandidate gegee het, is dat ons moet almal verseker, al die kandidate, die wat raadslede van die ANC gaan word, een van jou verantwoordelikhede is om te seker te maak dat jou omgewing waar jy bly, of dit die dorp is of dit die woonbuurt is, ons wil skoon dorpe sien waar mense bly. Want self al bly ons in informele huise, dit kan nog steeds ordentlik skoon wees. Daar's geen rede hoekom ons nie kan in skoon strate wees nie, hoekom daar vullis opgehoop moet wees in die strate in nie en op hoeke nie. As geen rede hoekom dit kan wees nie. En die president het ons aangemoedig en gesê, een van die verantwoordelikhede van die raadslede is om die dorpe skoon te hou. Want is baie eenvoudig. Hulle sê cleanliness is next to godliness. En dit is belangrik, maar nie net dit nie. Saam met 'n vuil dorp kan alle siektes daarmee saamkom. Kieme kan versprei word. Daarom is ons almal se beste belang dat ons moet verseker dat ons dorpe en ons omgewing waar ons bly, ons werksomgewing en ons woonomgewing, dat dit netjies skoon is.
Comrade Vosloo, die 1 November is net hier op die stoep, om die draai. Wat het jy op jou hart vir die kykers daar buite, veral in jou distrik en oor die algemeen vir hierdie opkomende verkiesing?
Maar baie dankie nou ook aan die kykers daar buite. Ons boodskap van die ANC is baie eenvoudig. Alreeds vanaf Saterdag en Sondag neem ons deel aan die verkiesing. En ons doen 'n beroep op al die kiesers om in groot getalle uit te gaan en die kruisie agter die naam van die ANC kandidaat te gaan maak. Dis alreeds Saterdag en Sondag. Saterdag 30 Oktober, Sondag 31 Oktober, wanneer die special votes uitgebring sal word. En in die verskillende wyke reg oor die provinsie, net soos in ZFM, is daar ten minste meer as 500 wat is vir elke in elke wyk verwag vanaf ANC lede. Ons verwagting is dat ons almal sal seker maak dat ons in groot getalle die ANC sal gaan ondersteun. Maar nie net dit nie. Die mees belangrikste is dat op Maandag 1 November moet ons almal seker maak dat ons diegene wat nie kan uitkom by die stembus nie, stempunt nie, kom ons maak seker dat ons hulle kan ondersteun en die ANC daar in groot getalle te gaan ondersteun. Die ANC het 'n plan. Die ANC het vir ons gemeenskappe is om beter gemeenskappe daar te bou op 'n plaaslike vlak, gelei deur raadslede wat die belange van die gemeenskap op die hals het. Maar nie net dit nie. Die belofte en die kommitment wat die president voorgehou het, is dieselfde plegtige eed wat ons kandidate afgelê het verlede week Dinsdag, waar hulle gesê het hulle is daartoe verbind om die gemeenskap se belange te dien. En hulle is daartoe verbind om in die belang van die gemeenskap hulle eie belange eenkant te kan skuif. Ons praat hier van kandidate en raadslede wat 24/7 beskikbaar vir die gemeenskap sal wees, wat 'n oop kommunikasiekanaal sal hê, wat die president sê ons sal en ons stem saam daarmee. Ons verbind ons daartoe om beter te doen en beter te wees. Beter te doen, dit is in die op munisipale vlak om dienste vir ons gemeenskap te lewer en waar ons in hierdie vorige ronde nie goed gedoen het nie, gaan ons beter doen in hierdie ronde. Maar die volgende is om beter te wees. Beter te wees meen is om ANC-leiers en ANC-lede en gemeenskapslede te kan wees, wat met waardigheid, met integriteit, met eerlikheid ons gemeenskap te kan dien. Dit is waartoe ons vir onsself verbind as ANC-leiers en as ANC-lede. Maar ons gaan ook verder deur te sê, ons gaan mense aanstel as burgemeesters en speakers en ook in die raad, in die verskillende komitees en ook in die administrasie wat bevoeg is om die werk te kan doen. U het al die rede om vir die ANC te kan stem. Daarom vra ons u op 1 November, bring u stem uit vir die ANC. Baie dankie.
Comrade Vosloo, sê vir baie dankie dat u die tyd afgestaan het om te kom en dat u die uitnodiging aanvaar het en alle voorspoed vorentoe.
Baie dankie.
Baie dankie.
Baie
en
dankie.
daar het u dit nou gehad regstreeks vanuit die ateljee ANC Noord-Kaap TV waar ons uitgesaai het en ek wil net spesiaal dankie sê vir ons borg Home Future Furniture wat dit ook moontlik gemaak het vir hierdie regstreekse uitsending. Baie dankie dat julle ingeskakel het. Spesiale edisie gewees vandag met gesprek maak kotse. As u aanbieder en ons weet dat u volgende keer weer sal inskakel en ons sal gesels oor hoekom u vir die ANC moet stem. Baie dankie, die Here seën en wees veilig.